afternoon. It is 3 o'clock, so it's my lockdown sewing. I'm just replying to Kaylee. Hiya, whoever you are, good afternoon. I didn't actually tell people I was doing one today. I'm just hoping that people realise that I am. Yeah, we've got some in, so some people do realise I am. Just replying to Kaylee, she's having problems with her quilt, so we're doing the denim skirt today. So I've got the Ness out, the pattern. Going to, oh, I like the mini one. Just going to cut this one out. Afternoon. I've got most of it cut out. I've actually not been so well today. I've got an infection in my tooth, and I was on antibiotics last week, as you know. It took it off. Tuesday the antibiotics finished, and Tuesday night the pain returned, and it's come back with a vengeance. So I'm back on antibiotics. So hiya Jude. So I've been asleep all morning, and I only woke up at 1 o'clock to come and do this. So I weren't actually prepared. But we will get there, no worries, we will get there. Hiya Valerie. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting the waistband out, which needs to be cut singularly to do it on the grain line. I'm presuming that you all know about grain lines and things like this. Hiya Pauline. Hiya Janet. This arrow here dictates the grain line. So I've cut one out. I've had to cut the fabric, and I'm now going to place it right sides together to make a pair, because it's so long, because I'm so wide, I have to do it this way. So I'm just going to continue cutting out while I chat here. And I think I've only got the zip guard to cut out as well. Hi Helen. So by doing it this way, I know that it's all cut on the grain line, because this denim I'm using is a stretch denim. And I fancied something a little bit different, and I showed you last week the these stretch denims. This is a pink one. Hiya Jennifer. So I'm just putting them right sides together, so now it's a pair. I'll quickly get this cut out. A cutting table does help if you have one. I'm not very good at scrambling around on my knees after 2 hip replacements and 2 reconstructions, plus all the extra things that went wrong. So I do find it easier on a table. I know we have to work with what we've got. Hiya Valerie, how are we all doing? We all well? Quite pleased, things seem to be looking up. I do feel that there's some normalcy, if that's the word, in the air, that we are going to be getting back. I think it's because kids are going back. It's starting to feel like, you know, yay, we might just be able to have some reality. I know we booked a holiday for September. My sister booked and asked us if we wanted to go, and I said yeah. So I said to Mark, book it. He booked it, and then I realised that it was the same date as the embroidery retreat that has been cancelled 3 times, so I cancelled the holiday. I need the retreat. I'm sure you'll lot understand. I don't think my sister did, but I'm sure you'll lot understand. So we've just moved the dates. So that is my waistband. I think I need to interface that, so... Right, let's move these scraps out of the way, and then I've just got the zip guard to do. Now I've not done this pattern before, so it's a new one on me. So I'm going to do it by the instructions. I don't usually do that, as you know, but I am going to. So I'm looking for the grain line, which is that way. That means it's got to go on that way. And I need to cut 1. through my pieces and put all the markings on, and then cut the interfacings out. It's not actually used much fabric, so I'm quite pleased with that. Missed some, but we'll catch up later. You've not missed anything, Sarah. We've not. All I'm doing is just telling you what I'm doing, which is the Ness one. Now, when I opened the pattern, there is a little oops in here, and it's just saying we made a couple of boo-boos with the order of the sentences in this booklet. So it's just telling you how to go around what typos they've done, so that's not a problem. It happens. So on here I have, that's the waistband seam, I need to put some markings on. I'm going to use, see, oh no, that won't show up, red friction won't show up. Let's see what I've got. Black one. Or a water soluble, I'll use a water soluble. So I'm just going to put my markings on. Very cold Warrington. It's a bit damp here. I wouldn't say it was that bad though. So I'm going to use a water soluble pen, then I can get it all off afterwards. So I'm just going to put a W at the top to say that's the waistband. That's that one. Waistband here. So on here I need to interface one side. So I'll just put the markings on. I was hoping to have all this done so it wouldn't be as long, but some of you may be interested in ways I do things. It may be different to what you lot do. You never know. So I'm just laying the pattern piece back on top and going to put my markings on here. I think it's going to look nice in notch matches pocket seam opening. Right, okay, so the next one is there. Presumes a notch matches side seam. So that's this one. Centre back. And notch matches pocket seam opening. There and there. Okay. So I need that one interfacing. That doesn't. I'll fetch my other pieces back. So pocket facings. Put my markings on those. One's done. Back yoke. Got a pivot point to match on this one. So pivot point is there. Need to do both sides. There. That's my belt loops. Pocket. Now I'm presuming you can put whatever patterns you want on this, and I have got a sheet, let me see if I can find it, with all different patterns for pockets. Not that one. I need to label my things because it's not that one either. No, I've got one of them too. I will find it. Is it in this one? No, this one. Yeah. So I'm not sure where I got this from, but it is 33 back pocket templates. Let's get a couple out. So basically, you can do these designs. Closet case patterns, I think it was a freebie, and you've got all different designs on here that you can put onto your pockets. So that might make some interesting pictures. I'll take them out and we can have a look through some of them. So that's closet core patterns now. They've changed the name. If anybody's wanting those, I think you just download it and then choose which ones you want. So closet core patterns if anybody's wanting any of these back pocket designs. Right, so back to my markings. This is what takes all the time when you're doing the first pattern, transferring all your pattern markings. Right, I'm going to do the full length version, split marking, knee length version. So that's where the split goes. Zip marking. And you just mark it in whatever way you would, or whatever way you prefer. Hip notch. Sounds like a group. Is that it for marking? Pocket seam opening, yeah. So that's the front. I don't know whether to overlock all the pieces first. Right, let's have a look. Sorry, my hair's wet. I just had a shower before I came down. Pocket corner markings top. Right, so I've got to all sizes. That's where it starts. And then I'm doing size 7. So you just need to have a look at the pattern and decide which size you need. All sizes. That's the another point. And then there. And there. Pocket corner marking. There we go. One more. So that's all the markings on that one. Hip notch. Sounds like a group, hip notch. There we go. Right, so that's the pocket marks. Right, so I just need to do interfacing. Cut one interfacing. I'm going to use my woven interfacing. I really like that. Rotary cutter for something that's this small. I think I need one out of fabric as well, so I think I've got a scrap big enough. That's the grain line, so nope, that's not big enough. That one should be. Yeah, that'll do it. That one's even better, so I'll use that one. I'm just going to use a scrap for this. In fact, if I put it on the blue side down, right, so that's right, so it needs to be that way to stick to the back of that. That's right. In fact, why don't I just put it on the back, because obviously this has got to go the right, facing the correct way. That'll do. I like the woven interfacing. I think it's a lot nicer than the paper type. And before I did bag making, I've only used the paper type. I need to sharpen my blade. so that's that one, and then I think I just need the waistband interfacing and then the pocket bags, and that's done. So let's move my weights. Right, for the waistband, I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to piece it. It's quite good for piecing this, so I use all my scraps up. So I'm going to lay the interfacing up, so I know it's not long enough. I'm going to take one of them. I want to do it the right way. I'm going to get as much on here as I can. There we go. Follow that round. Because it sticks so well, it's not a problem to match it. The paper ones, I don't think they stick as well as, or fuse as well. There we go. You might all be noticing in the background as well, I've got my new fabrics, the Lynette Anderson. I thought you might want to see them. And I'm really pleased with them, they are gorgeous. Just get a little piece for that bit on the end there. There we go. And then I've just got this bit to do now. How is everyone today? I hope you're all doing well. Just cover that up. Is anybody going to give this a go? I'm presuming because this is a Tilly and the Buttons pattern, it's going to be a nice easy one. The patterns are usually really easy to do. So that's my interfacing done. Now I am thinking for the pocket bags to do something really nice and bright. Getting over vertigo. Oh dear, Sarah. That's not nice. I know that's awful. You can't focus on anything, can you? Oh dear me. Right, so that's that one done. And that was my pattern piece. So I'm thinking about using some K facet for my pocket bags. And that is the pocket bag piece. It goes all the way across. Receive my handbag bits, thank you. No problem, Jennifer. So I've got quite a lot of fat quarter. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. Up here, this one's full of all K facet fat quarters. So I'm going to choose something really, really in your face. Ooh, that one looks nice. Now their fat quarters are only American ones, so will it fit? Oh yes. So just enough. Cut this one out. Oh, and some lovely bright pocket linings. I think I'm going to interface it as well because it's quite thin. I want it to last. You know, these skirts take a lot of hammer, don't they, these denim skirts, so I might interface this to make it last. Actually no, I'm not, because I want it to be quite soft, don't I? I don't want it to be too stiff, so I'm not going to interface it. There we go. That'll make into some hexagons. Right, where's my pen? Apologies for my hair. It's a bit wild when I've just washed it late today as was clean. Oh no! Love the sound of your. Me too, Valerie. Yes, I do. It's a lovely sound. I think we all do, don't we? As sewers, we love that sound. And I think when you're doing it on a cutting mat, Do enjoy watching how you work. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I always think, why does anybody want to watch? It's going to be boring. But no, if you enjoy it, I'm happy. I do understand, because I'd be happy to see somebody just going about, you know, what they do and the thought process behind it. I think it's just lack of confidence in myself. I don't think anybody finds what I do interesting. And it's so much nicer to actually do the, you know, the thought process with somebody there. You know, I do feel like you're here with me. I'm doing the nest skirt, Mona, and I'm doing the full length version, and I'm doing it in this lovely cerise pink denim. It's a stretch denim, and I've decided to do the pocket bags out of a Cafe facet. So yes, that's what we're doing today. So it's all cut out now. I'm going to, in my own way, it might not be the way everybody else does it, sort of go through the instruction book. With the Tilly and the Buttons ones, you get a lovely little booklet. So, and it does read like a little book. And I find her pattern so easy to do. So if you are a beginner, it is like she holds your hand. Now I'm just going to see, she just said to wash and dry your fabrics. Tells you how to do the pattern. So if you've not done a pattern before, then it's quite a good way to learn how to sew that sort of fabric that you're using. Shows you how to do the cutting out and things like that. Right, the outer waistband will be the one with the buttonhole on the left and blah 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 blah. So has she done the overlocking? Pin them together on matching notches. Finish one seam allowance there with zigzag stitch or an overlocker without trimming it. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is, to try and make it easier for you lot, I'm going to go over to the overlocker and I'm going to go around all the main parts. Love the look of your pattern weights. Have you got a link to where we can get them? Thanks for keeping us company. Thank you for keeping me company. Right, yes. Now, I've got them from 2 different places. 1, 2, 3. These 4 I got from one of my favourite online shops, which is Coast and Country Crafts and Quilts. That's down Devon somewhere, I think. So Sarah, it might be on your doorstep. And these have got like little sewing quotes on them. I'll read them out to you. Sewing with friends keeps us in stitches. Sometimes we even rip our seams out. That's us lot. This one says, my problem isn't that I buy too much fabric, it's that I shop faster than I sew. That's me. And this one says, do not disturb, the queen is about to sew. And this one says, when life gives you pieces, make a quilt. I ought to put some of these on t-shirts, I think they'd be quite good. But they do them in a pack of 4. And I also got, this is in the same vein, the postcards, but the metal. So I put a little bit of lace through and I hang it up. On here it says, I got a sewing machine for my husband, good trade, huh? And it's got this little lady with a sewing machine on. I think these are nice to give to your friends. I bought Sharon one of these. Not heard of them. We'll have to search. Yeah, it's somewhere down on the course down there. Oh, I forgot. What? Never mind, Lynn. Don't worry. You can watch it back. And then these other ones. There should be another one somewhere. I got from Sewing Direct in Sheffield. I think that's what it's called. And these have got. That one's got bolts of fabric. They're all like polka dots and really, really pretty. That one's got sewing machine. These are from Habico. So if you search Habico pattern weights, you might find these online. And that one's got scissors and sewing notions, irons and things. But yeah, they're lovely. You cannot, oh, there's another one there with a little pin cushion on. So I've got 8 of those, and I find that 8 is pretty good. I also have little ones that I've made, but then Sharon bought me this one foxglove and field pattern weights. They're really nice, and as you can hear, quite heavy. So yeah, I might even get some and do a competition or something, because I do think they are really nice for your sewing room. Right, so yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the overlocker, and I'm just going to go around the main pieces and then we'll get started. I did get my other one. This is the one I made last time, the Clementine skirt, and this one's a slim fit, so tilling the buttons patterns tend to fit me quite well, so I'm hoping that this one's going to be alright. I've not done it before, so it's the first time for me as well, but I have done this one before. But I think they're all pretty much similar. So I'm going to take it over to the overlocker. I'm going to overlock the main pieces and maybe the pocket bags. No, I might just wait for that. I could zigzag it. So I'm going to take the main pieces over there. Leave the pattern pieces here. And I'll just go around these. So we're going on a journey. Now, I haven't got much room to put you on the right hand side, so I'm going to have to put you on the left side. Ooh. I've lost my cushion off my chair, so just arrived. No worries, Joyce, you can always watch it back. So this machine doesn't make a noise until you start sewing, so it's a nice quiet one. All I'm going to do is, it says not to trim any off, so I'm just going to go right on the edge. Will I do the bottom? No, I'll do the afterwards. Go up the other side. So it's just taking a slither off the side. As you can see, I've only done it in white. I think the overlocking looks a lot neater than zigzagging. So I'll put those two back together, keep them as a pair, and then you know where you are. Although the front has got this bit cut out, so for the pocket, so it's not too bad. I'm not going to go around that because I know that's going to go inside. I'm going to go around the side seams. There we go. I'll leave, oh no, I've got other one to do. Yes, I'll leave it on, but I haven't finished. There we go. Put them back as a pair. And we'll go back to the cutting table, or rather the banana. I'll just lower you down a little bit. Here, that's it. I always take my knee lift off because I don't want to knock it in the machine. need to change thread colours. If I was doing a blue denim, I would have put, I've got some denim colour thread, like yellow, but I'm not doing blue, I'm doing pink. So I'm going to get a pink bobbin. Now I put a stretch needle in yesterday, and although this is denim, it is a stretch denim, so I'm going to leave the stretch needle in. I've got a 90-14, which should be fine for what I'm doing. And I'm trying to use all my coat threads up, so I'm going to get one of those to use. This is the last one as well, so that's good. And we'll go through this pattern together. So it might actually be good for you, because normally if I've used the pattern before, I don't even look at the instructions. So this one I will, and we'll do it as we're supposed to. Now I don't like to do these videos too long, so if we don't get it finished today, it's not a problem. We can go back and do it another day. I'm just going to move my rotating mat and my stand. Bring my iron down. I have cut out some of the Lynette Anderson fabric. How's Bruce on his biting? Oh, we ended up getting him a cage. I didn't want to. Never had a cage for any of my dogs, but we just thought he needed some time out. He's doing really well. He's had his last injection, so he can go out next week, which will probably help as well. And I do think the cage is helping. He's quite happy to go in there, so that's fine. We'll just see how it goes. So I've cut out some of the Lynette Anderson to make some project bags, and I've cut this lovely little taupe lining to go inside. So that's what I shall be doing later. So I'll cut out ready. Yeah. Move them out of the way. Right, get my instructions. Right, so first of all we are going to turn on the iron. So we need to put the interfacings on. Iron's on. The outer waistband will be the one with the button on the left hand side of the nice side of the fabric. Interface this piece and the zip facing. Right, so let's find those. So the buttonhole is that one. Take my pieces off. Lay them back on. So the outer waistband will be the one with the button on the left hand side of the nice side of the fabric. Right, so that means that the fabric's right side up and the buttonhole is at the left side. So that's this piece I've got here. So this is the one I need to interface on the inside. So I will take the interfacing, and I need to make sure the interface glue side is down, which it is there. So is that the way it goes? Yeah. So lay that back on. and fuse that together. These little liners get quite hot, so don't take long. Could have used the easy press. I'm thinking about this skirt. It's going to be nice for spring. That's why I wanted something a bit different, because I've got a blue denim one. And if it works out alright, I might even make the denim jacket to go with this in the pink. Now this fabric also comes in a lovely turquoise blue as well, which would be nice. It's got quite a bit of stretch in it as well, so it should be nice and comfortable. Right, that's that one done. So the waistband's all interfaced. And then the zip facing. There we go. So that's that one done as well. Lay one back skirt over the other. Or stay stitch the upper and lower curves on the other waistband. Sorry, I'm skipping bits. So on the other waistband, stay stitch. So that's this one. Upper and lower curves, right. So I'm just going to do it on a normal stitch. And basically that just means stitching in the waist, in the seam allowance on both sides. Some people may think, oh bless you Hazel, some people may think it's not worth doing things like this step, but it really is. There'll be a reason why she tells you to do it, and I presume the reason is to stop it from stretching out. You can see, can't you? Go. So that's the waistband done. And lay one back skirt over the other, right sides together. Back skirt, that's the ones without the pocket cut out. So that's these. Oh my. I've got one upside down. Hang on. Yes, that one. It's curved because you've got the yoke at the back. Yeah. So it goes down into like that V at the back with the yoke. So we're laying right sides together, pin them together along the centre back seam, matching notches, stitch, finish one seam allowance layer with zigzag or an overlocker without trimming it. Trim the other seam allowance layer to half its width without finishing it. Right, well I did one of them for nothing, but not to worry. I'm just looking for Oh, it must have got a front split, not a back split. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Right, so I'm just going to stick, I'm not pinning, because you know what I'm like. Pin them together, matching, not just stitch. So I'm going to stitch the normal seam allowance. I'm going to turn my stitch length down a little bit. I'm going to back tack at the top. So if you wanted a split at the back, you would do this at the back. So we need to trim this other seam allowance to half its width. So that basically means lifting this one up. I do a back instead of front split. Yeah, I'm going to do it as it says, just to see what it's like. So I'm going to open this out and I'm going to trim this one to half its width. Presume we're doing a flat felled seam. So I'll just put my scissors in there and trim half of it off. Yeah, I think I prefer a back one as well, but I can always do that on the next one. Right, let's trim that off. Repeat on the trim the other seam allows half its width without finish it. Repeat on the back yoke, trimming the same side as the skirt. Right, so the back yoke, I'll just put that aside for now. Let's find the back yoke. So this one I'm going to place right sides together. And I presume I'm stitching down to the pivot line. So I haven't overlocked this one. So what I'm going to do is trim the top off so it's the same side as the skirt, and I'm going to zigzag this bottom one to finish it off rather than go over to the overlocker. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and zigzag that bottom bit. There we go. I don't know if you can actually see it, it's that, you might be able to, yeah, you can just about see. So I've just zigzagged this one and just cut this one off. So now press the back skirt and yoke seam allowances to the side, the finished edge covering the trimmed edge. So that basically means press the finished edge over that one, like that, and do the same on the skirt. I use a little bit of starch. Turn that down a little bit because they do get rather hot. It's curling because it's curling a little bit because of the heat of the iron, but turned it down a bit now. So I'm going to open out the skirt back. And press the finished edge over the unfinished edge. That's a bit better now, it's cooled down a bit. So just push it all over the top. And I presume we're going to top stitch then. The top stitching is what makes these skirts look really nice. So you want to do as good a job as you can on there. Just move this pattern piece out of the way. Lovely fabric, think I'll have to buy some. It is really nice, Valerie, it's very nice. So where's my instructions? It's not often you see me looking at instructions, so. Right, press the back skirt, blah, 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 blah. 3/8 of an inch from the seam line in matching or contrasting thread. You can add a second row of top stitching. Oh, I ain't done my first one, have I? Oh no, from the right side, top stitch the skirt yoke to the seam allowances. I'll just top stitch first. Trimming and finishing. Repeat on the back yoke, trimming and finishing the same. Surely you stitch that together first. No, you don't. Okay. Press the back skirt and yoke seam allowances to the side, the finished edge covering the trimmed edge. We've done that. From the right side, top stitch the skirt and yoke to the seam allowances. 3/8 of an inch from the seam line in matching or contrasting thread. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that over, and on the right side we're going to top stitch 3/8 of an inch from the edge, and then you can top stitch a second row 2 to 3 millimeters from the seam line if you want to. Now I do like to have 2 rows, and I think it looks a lot like a proper denim then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto the triple stitch. Now the triple stitch looks like, let me bring you in and show you. And I do, sorry, I've undone my stand. Let's hope you can see this. That there is the triple stitch. So it looks like it's got 3 layers, 3 rows of stitching on top of each other, or outside of each other on most machines. On mine it just looks like a really thick stitch. But if you see my needle going, let's see if you can see in close enough. It goes forwards and then back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line, I'm going to line the side of the foot up with the seam first, and we're going to stitch that one. And it's going forward, back, all the way. It takes quite a long time to do this, but it does look really good. And you could do it in a contrasting thread. If I was doing the denim, blue denim, I would have used an orange one, or black. It's like a yellow. But can you see that there? It gives it quite a nice thick stitch. So what I'm going to do now is do another row just on top here. Right, so that's going to give you now a really strong, thick look on your skirt. If you look on the back, it's all stitched down nice and neatly. I had to disappear, daughter-in-law had a question, featured on Gardener's Question. Ooh, well done. So that is the back yoke done. So now I'm going to do exactly the same on the skirt. So I'm going to stitch it in the same way so that it's going to line up. So just make the seam lie flat, line the edge of the foot up with the joint seam, and just follow that all the way down. Just make sure you can feel where your seam's lying. Open it all out nice and flat. It really is worth doing that triple stitch. all I'm watching is this edge here to make sure it's all lined up. Just woken up. These new paint. Oh dear, I was the same this morning, Ellen. I didn't wake up till 1 o'clock. I got up at about 8:30. So I went back to sleep on settee. So it doesn't take that much longer really when you think about it, but it gives it a lovely neat look. So if you can see on there now, we've got one side done. I'm just going to go in again and do another one on this seam here. I'm looking at this skirt, I think this size is going to be too big. I needed to downsize a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Quite liking this pink actually. The thing is, when you're doing garments for yourself, you're going to keep them for a long time. So invest in good quality fabrics and stitch it with the best detail you can. There we go. Oh, that's giving a lovely look. Right, see if you can see. So you've got that lovely twin needle look on there. Right, so the next bit we've got to do, let's have a look, where's my instructions? If you want to, we've done that. Next page. For optional back pockets, yeah, we're going to do them. Finish the sides and bottom edges of each pocket. Stay stitch 14 millimeters, just under 5/8 of an inch on these edges. Right, so let's get the pockets. I know we're on 10 to 4. I want to do a bit more. I don't want to only do with the back seam. Right, so I've got the pockets and finish the sides, and I'll do it by zigzag rather than going over to the overlocker. So I'm just zigzagging on the edge of the bottom of the pockets. It's very hard for you to see it, so I'll not hold it up. Back to a normal stitch, and now it's saying stay stitch 14 millimeters, just under 5/8 of an inch. Now most machines have got the 5/8 of an inch marked on here. That fabric is gorgeous. It's lovely, Lynn. I think I'm going to really enjoy wearing this one, and I think it'll go nice with that t-shirt with that I did last week with the V-neck. So you should have a marking on your foot, and it's saying just under. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to just under that marking, and I'm going to follow that side this time. Pivot, and then follow that to the edge. So you can see we've got that zigzagged edge and then the stay stitching. Repeat on the other one. So just short of the 5/8 of an inch. that is the 2 pockets, and it's saying fold the top edge under 1/4 inch wrong sides together and press. Right, so basically we're folding the top edge 1/4 inch and pressing that down. Don't worry about it, Marilyn, it's not a problem. So just pressing that 1/4 inch over. Get the next one. Fold it under another 10 millimeters and press again. 10 millimeters, what's that? Is that a centimetre? It isn't it? It's about a centimetre. I'm just eyeballing it. Press again. Top stitch in place, 7 millimeters from the top. Press the side and bottom edges under using the stay stitching as a guide so it's just visible from the wrong side. Right, so let's top stitch these first. So I've got my yoke on the floor. So again, I'm using the triple stitch for all the top stitching. So I'm going to, you could use a guide if you like. I might do it from the wrong side, and then I can keep it straight on the edge. Yeah, so I'm going to do it from the wrong side. I've gone and pressed the wrong one. I'll go over that again. That was just a normal straight stitch instead of the triple straight stitch. Right, it's going backwards and forwards, you can see it now. So I'm just watching the edge of the foot. Yeah, it's a bit paler underneath, so maybe I shouldn't have done it from the top. It is a tilly in the buttons. Yeah, I should have done the bobbin thread in the same colour. So we're having a different colour on the pocket, which is not too bad. It's a contrast. There we go. You see on that side it's got that lovely deep pink, and then on this side it's got that paler pink. But I think I'll just stick to it all the way through to that and keep it as a contrast. So I'll do the same on this other pocket. So that's the pockets done. Has it got a style name? It has, it's the Ness. Let me show you the, oh, that's it. Yeah, it's the Ness. And we're doing it by the instructions. I'm being good today. Right, so now it's telling me to press up to the stay stitching there. So that should keep it in place nice. press the sides and bottom edges using the stay stitching as a guide. Yeah. So I'm going to press the bottom edges first. So I'm just folding it where the stay stitching is, and then it will keep that place really neatly. I have got a bit of best press in here. That might just hold it down nicely and give it a nice smell as well. So that's pressed the bottom edges under. Now I just need to do the sides. So this is where the June Taylor mats come in really good, because you've got the markings on here, so you can make sure you're doing it straight. You might not think it will, but when you put it on, if it's not all pressed right, you will notice, especially with it having that point. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. Repeat on the other one. Just give it a bit of a spray. So I'm doing the bottom end first. And I'm going to line up the top with the marks on the mat and do the sides. So if you do want one of those patterns on, now's the time to mark it and do it. I might give it a go. I did it on the blue one that I did. Right, so that's the pockets done. So let's get a chalk pen. And have a look at some of these. For your me made jeans. That's quite a nice one. I like that one. Found it in Minerva. So far it's looking quite a good one. Some really nice ones in here. So if anybody's wanting to do these, again, it's the Closet Core patterns. Back pocket top stitching designs. Let's find a nice easy one. I quite like that one, but what I think you should do is photocopy them, and then you can stitch along the lines and then tear it off. I can't do that because you'll be waiting around too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw it onto my pocket and see if I can do it that way. So let's get a chalk pen. This is one of those prim ones with the ticking of your clock is so relaxing. Do you know what? I find that as well, Sue. So I'm going to start about halfway. It's lovely down here when I ain't got TV on and I just got this clock ticking. Gotta take it up and round. Problem is I've got to do it on two so it looks similar. So I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can just about. So it's coming round here, round in a loop and then off. So if I do those lines matching where I start and finish, it should be something like, and then the loop goes there. Right, so it goes so I'm just drawing it freehand. It would be easier if you did it from the paper and you photocopied it, so you got two the same and then stitched over the top. but I think that's going to be matching enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm on my triple stitch. So I'm just going to start from the side and follow those lines. You could always echo it. So I'm just turning as I go. You know, we have to give these things a go, see what it comes out like. It might look rubbish. If it does, I'll just cut some more pockets out. Simple as that. I actually quite like it. So that's what we've got. Nice design of it. I could put a little diamante or something on the apex there. So I'll repeat with the other one. You could actually, because you're making this up yourself, you could embroider something onto your pockets beforehand. You could do some applique on there. I might have to do that. And that's the other one. Oh, thank you, Sue. So that's the pockets done. I think the next thing we're going to do is put those onto the garment. Yeah. So I'll move these patterns out of the way. Get the skirt, or the skirt back. Lay it down, and we did put the marks on with the water soluble pens. So I'm going to get my pins. I'm going to pin these on. So the marks are already on there, so we know exactly where it needs to go. A little bit high. Let's see what the other one's like. Maybe I've turned it up a bit too much. That's one. There we go. So that's the pockets pinned on. So I've got the triple stitch on, and lay the wrong side of the back pockets over the right side of the back skirts, aligning the pocket corners with the markings and pin in place. Edge stitch around the sides and bottom edges, leaving the top edge unstitched. Reinforce the top corners with squares as shown. Now I think this machine does bar tack, so if you haven't got the ability to do bar tacks, it's showing you to just do it in a square to make it really strong. Or you could rivet. We did the rivet presses on Tuesday. So I'm going to turn my work. you really need to be watching what you're doing on these bits, because you don't want it to look messy. So where's my little poking device? Here it is. So I'm just folding that under, making sure it stays to the stay stitching. Hold it with the poking device. And then again, just hold it down. Turn again. Take the pin out. Make sure it's all turned in nicely. Cut off all your excess threads. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another row of stitching a few millimetres away from that one, as we did on the back skirt, so it all looks nice and matching. Just getting rid of all the excess threads. If you do it now, it doesn't become too much of a job at the end, and it looks neater. Just make sure all those facings aren't showing, and then so now I'm lining it up with the edge of the seam of the pocket, and I need to stop when I'm the same distance away from the bottom. Right, that's there. Actually, it needs to go back one more stitch. Back, not forward. Pivot at the bottom. Take that out. So that is the pocket all completed. So now to do the other, but I'm going to look to see what bar tack stitches I've got. So we've got lots of different ones on here. Where's my there, if we go on to that one, that's a really thick one there, can you see? So I'm just going to do the top of the pockets. I want to go back. So you can see there, it's given that really thick, dense stitching. You could get the same effect with a zigzag stitch. But thread stuck inside. You could get the same with a zigzag stitch, but just put it really close together. Get rid of all the loose threads underneath and then move back to normal. No, we're not. It's locking up again. They play up sometimes, these fancy machines. Let me just get a bit of scrap. I've only got a bit stuck inside, I want. Bear with me. It's got its knickers in a knot. There we go. Should I clean it out while I've got it off? No, I'll do it later. Put my bobbin back in. I'll just get some scrap. I'm going to put it onto a straight stitch. Oh, it's not happy about something. When all fails, rethread. Bear with me, folks. Just makes you wonder, doesn't it, why it does it from nothing. Try again. Where's my scrap gone? There you go. Got its knickers in a knot. Right, so we'll go back to that stitch, which was that one. So that has given the bar tacks on the top of the skirt. If that happens to you at home, just do what I did, unthread it, rethread it and try on a bit of scrap. Right, so back to the straight stitch, but the triple one. Have you got a walking foot on? This machine has got a built-in walking foot, so you see this bit here, if I take that off, that's the walking foot off. Omelette. Oh, watching you in bed. Oh dear. Oh, sorry, Joyce. And then if I just bring that down, that's the walking foot on. So I do tend to have it on most of the time. Just taking my pin out. So I'm now back onto the triple stitch, which is the one that goes backwards and forwards. A lot of people not being too well at the minute. I've been feeling a bit rough myself. It's a bit weird. Right, so I'm going to use my poking device just to keep this point in the correct place. But this is one of those jobs that you'd use your rivet press for as well. That, you know, the one we were talking about on Tuesday. Did any of you go and get one? I know, Sue, you just got one, haven't you? Right, so back to the it's the bar tacks. This is because you're putting your hands in and out of your pockets a lot, so it's to give it extra strength. Just one. There we go. Sorry you're not well, wishing you spirit. Yeah, definitely, Joyce. So that's the back pocket. I bought one last week, so I was pleased to see I did. Oh, brilliant! Have you had it give it a go, Jillian? So that's, yeah, that's both the pockets done on the back. So the next thing we're going to do is, for all versions, lay the back yoke over the back skirt, right sides together, lining up the centre back seams and pin exactly through the pivot points. Pin the back yoke seams together on one half only, matching notches. Stitch between the pivot point and side seam, back tacking at each end. Okay, so where's my yoke gone? There it is. So, oops, it's a part on my needle. Put my foot back to normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the yoke piece on the side piece together, and we're going to line up the pivot point, which I have got on my pivot points there. So I need to line that up with the centre back and pop a pin in there, and then we're going to stitch those together to the side seam, and then I'll tack it, we'll do the other one. Back tacking at each end, clip the seam allowance from the right to just inside the pivot point. That's so that it's going to lay nice and flat. So I'm going to start from the middle. It might be easier to keep that point together then. So we're back tacking, make sure it doesn't come undone. Do it until 1/2 then we've done an hour and a half, then we'll finish off next week. Right, so that's one side done. Clip into the seam allowance from the raw edge to just inside the pivot point on the back skirt, not the yoke. So on this skirt, not the yoke bit, we're going to pivot, we're going to clip to the pivot point. Overlapping the stitches at that pivot point to ensure you don't leave a hole. And then, yeah, we're going to stitch the other side then. So I'm going to do it with the skirt, the yoke on the bottom, so I can see exactly that I'm not going to snip that pivot point. Sorry, where we clipped. So back tacking at the beginning. Match up the seams. Trim the back skirt allowance and finish the yoke seam allowance without trimming. So we're going to do what we did before. We're going to trim away some of this seam allowance here, half of it. So leave the yoke one, trim the skirt one. So we're just going to trim about half of it away. Make sure you don't catch the top one. You could use duckbill scissors if you have them at this point. So you're not trimming that other layer. And then at the other side. I presume we're going to press it down towards the skirt. I bet I need to zigzag that though. Yeah, I will. So I need to zigzag the bottom yoke piece. I would have overlocked it if I'd have read the pattern instructions first, but it will do, it will do. I think the jacket's going to look lovely in this. Might have to embroider some stuff on it. So, is that what we're doing next? Are we pressing it? Trim the back spiral, press them down towards the skirt. A bit of steam will help neaten the back yoke curve. Top stitch the seam allowances to the skirt. Right. So yes, we are. We're pressing this down. So we're pressing the seam down towards the skirt. I haven't got any water in, so I'm going to use a bit of starch. I'm just pulling it all nice and flat first. Right, so now what we need to do is triple stitch again, and we're going to stitch on the edge, and then, well, actually I'm going to do the one farther away first. So I'm going to stitch lining up my foot edge with the seam. Going to make sure that pulls right down nice and flat because I've lined up the pivot point and I want it to match. That's it. So that's one side done. So now I'm going to go back in and do it right on the fold, well, right at the side of the fold, at the seam, sorry. I am enjoying doing all this dressmaking again. So thanks you lot, you're making me do some new clothes for myself. If anybody's wanting to have a go and catch up to this point, then we'll finish it off next Friday. So I'll just turn you around. That's the back. It needs to be pressed a little bit to make that all nice, lie nice and flat, but you can see we've got the yoke there. Need to press it flat, but it will go nice and flat. So that is basically the back of the skirt done. So yeah, it's 4:30. So I shall get on with it again next Friday. We've enjoyed joining you and I've learnt so much. Oh, brilliant! That's good. I'm enjoying it as much as you are. So it's 4:30 now. So I'm going to let you all go and do your own sewing. Thank you, Valerie. I'm glad you found it interesting. It looks great. How much fabric, please? I didn't use that much. I bet. Let's see what it says on the back. Finished garment measurements. Supplies, fabric, miniskirt. The length of the skirt, if you've got a 60-inch wide, which this one is 60-inch wide, 1.4 meters. 2 yards if it's 45-inch wide. So saying 1.5, I would say 1 1/4. Maybe 1.5 if you want to be sure, but you use it for something else. So 1.5 meters will definitely do it. If you're doing the mini one, 1 1/4. But I'm sure the other patterns will be different. So just have a check on what pattern you're using, because the mini one is quite a lot shorter, you can see on that one. So 1 1/4 to 1.5 meters, I'm going to say. So yes, thank you very much for joining me. I've enjoyed your company again. Have a safe weekend. Yeah, I'll be there on Tuesday, and I'm on a Chanda next, whatever the 11th is. I'm not sure what day that is. Let me just show you. I've got another couple finished. Quite pleased with these. Got the buttons to sew on this one, but this is another one of the phone stands, and I did one like for a boys version. I'll pop along to your shop and order some, thanks. Yeah, you're very welcome, Lynn. It's really nice. I'll just show you the stretch. It has got a nice bit of stretch on there, so it's going to be nice and comfortable. And I've done one in the cork as well, with the little sparkle fabric on there. So they're some of the new projects. I like that one, Kaylee. Right, so I shall see you all on Tuesday. Have a good weekend and take care.